So it could be a decent weekend if it's clear skies. Helen was saying it could be quite good for doing that.
The colder it is, the clearer it is. You can share your star counting experiences with others on social media using the hashtag StarCount.
Time now is 9:53. We all know it's pretty freezing out there at the moment, so not many of us would fancy going for an open-air dip.
There are some who do, though. There's a new film, The Ponds, which literally dives deep into the swimming culture of London's Hampstead Heath ponds. Filmed over 12 months, it explores why so many are drawn to the chilly water. Here's a look.
It's quite strong.
Cold, exhilarating, excited.
Can't feel anything, actually.
Beautiful. But totally present in the moment.
Totally awake.
Now.
It's beautiful.
This is it.
Right.
You can't throw yourself into nature any more than that. It's the most brutal way of throwing yourself onto the heath.
Yeah.
Just being here, looking around and everything, and then getting in it. You can experience every depth of the season.
Yeah.
From beginning to end. So it's just stunning.
And you know, it's so beautiful here today. You just feel really alive, really glad to be alive.
We're joined now by the film's directors Samuel Smith and Patrick McLennan. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
I can agree with one thing that gentleman said there, that it was absolutely stunning there. I cannot, as someone who doesn't swim well and hates the cold, imagine swimming in that water. But Patrick, you were out yesterday.
Yes. It was 1.6 degrees centigrade yesterday in the men's pond. It was lovely. I wasn't in for long, but I did get in. And the thing about it is that the feeling you have, it just transforms your day.
Lots of people won't be familiar with the ponds that you're talking about. Just explain for people. You know, there are three swimming ponds. This in the middle of Hampstead Heath. Just explain how is it that they're there and people are allowed to swim in them?
Well, I mean, they've been there for hundreds of years, and people have swum there for hundreds of years. So there's that great history, and they're very.
You know, they're much loved, and you know, there's a great tradition.
And one for men, one for women, and one mixed.
Yeah. Which is, again, wasn't always the way. It was in the 19th century that the men had the men's pond, well, actually the mixed pond, and the ladies were allowed to swim on one day of the week. And it took until the 1920s before the ladies got their own pond, which you know, they agitated for, and now they've got it and they love it.
What's interesting about this film, obviously you have a passion for swimming in very cold water. It's very refreshing and good for the soul. And I'm going to pick up on that point because it's almost like the ponds are a device for telling some really lovely, interesting human stories. Is that a fair assumption of what people would get out of this?
Yeah, I'd say that. People swim there, don't they, for therapy, really. I suppose people are drawn there, it's almost ritualistic. The everyday swimmers, the people who go there.
Who inspired you most? I mean, there are some amazing stories that come through. Which ones touched you the most?
Oh, well, I think all our characters are amazing. I think Carrie, who's a breast cancer survivor, she came forward and wanted to be involved in the documentary. She tells a brilliant story. We follow her throughout the year, and the water is so important to her.
Well, actually, I'm going to interrupt you because we can see Carrie. We can see a clip from the film.
You come on your own. There's not many places in the world you would just go on your own and not ever feel worried. And there's always someone to talk to, always someone who'll give you a hug. I mean, before my operation, I was really emotional, and the thought of losing my breast was really hard, and I would cry in the shower. And I've got people, and I bump into them in the street, you'd recognise them with the clothes on, and they'd say, "You all right?" And I'm thinking, how do I know you? And I think, oh my gosh, you're my friend. I don't know your name, but you're just my friend.
When you hear her explaining that, it sort of makes sense, doesn't it? That camaraderie, that can itself be a bit of a healing thing.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. You know, when you go through the gates at the ladies' pond and the men's pond and the mixed pond, you know, it's kind of a falling away of a lot of the human judgment, and it's got to do with this shared bond of getting into the cold water, and people are more real. You know, and you know, people go down there. There's so many great friendships, and just as Carrie was explaining, you know, strangers hugging her, you know.
But they're also very private moments and private stories. And I wonder, Sam, how you managed. You did most of the filming, I think, around.
Yeah, that's right.
4/5 of the filming. So, how did you approach them, and how were you allowed, in many ways, to kind of intrude, for want of a better word?
Yeah, I mean, I think the process was quite simple. The people were very open to being to telling their stories. So it wasn't actually so hard to get them to open their hearts and tell these, express the kind of reasons that they subject themselves to cold water swimming.
And people will be curious who didn't know about it before. What, can you just turn up and swim?
Yes, you can. I mean, if you're a newbie, the lifeguards who do an absolutely amazing job at all 3 ponds, they will keep an eye out on the newbies. They test children. Children under the age of 12, they have to do a test. So, in fact, they tell us that most of their rescues they have to do with adults because adults brazen it out, turn up, and and they jump into the water, and quite often they have people who can't actually swim jump out.
It's a fascinating snapshot of real characters in a place and time. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Samuel Patrick, thank you. The Ponds is showing at selected cinemas around the UK. That's it from us this morning. We'll be back tomorrow, of course. Have a lovely day.
Bye-bye.